mic up. Come on. It's fucking day 22 in there. How are you, folks? Better than I am? I hope so. It's a stinky, dirty, filthy Wednesday. Welcome to the show. 888-599-NICK. 888-599-6425. For you people who are, phonetically challenged. Made no sense. I do look like a dirty cop, somebody said online with this getup. Hey, you know who followed me today on Twitter? Bo Deedle. And you're saying, well, who's Bo Deedle? Bo Deedle is the guy when Henry Hill's backing out of his driveway and the cop says, "Don't you move, you motherfucker, I'll blow your head off." That's Bo Deedle. He was a cop, NYPD cop, detective, and he was talking about running for mayor of the city like a year ago. Hope he does it. Anyways, he's following me. I couldn't be prouder because I love his politics. He's a law and order guy, obviously. Takes no shat from anybody. The other thing I want to mention, Patreon. If you go to Patreon and it says I have 680 subscribers, they're about 38 behind. It's 718. I don't know why they don't have the real number up there. I can go on my account and look through the analytics and it gives you the real number. And I don't know why they wouldn't put the real number up there. Maybe it's a bug in the system. But here's my paranoid self thinking that, oh no, this guy, really doesn't have our type of politics. Let's not let people know he's doing that well. That's sort of went on at Sirius, in my opinion. Show was kicking ass right out of the gates. They moved me from 6 to 8 o'clock unexplainably. And so, yeah, I get fucking paranoid. Little things make you paranoid. You get fired from a radio show, sucker punched in the face by a left-wing fucking lunatic wearing Birkenstocks, walking yeast infection. So, yeah, my fucking radar is up. But Patreon, I'm just saying, I love your service. It's tremendous, but put the real number up there. It's only going to help you if people go on and go, hey, these guys, look how many subs this guy has. This Patreon is something else. So, enjoy your cake. That's all I'm saying. 888-599-6425. 888-599-6425. And let's start off with some light shit. We'll get to the Cohen tapes, that fucking rat bastard. I just read before I came on the air, he was secretly recording Chris Cuomo, who has a show on CNN. He did like a 2-hour interview with him. He was recording him, too. So this guy's a real fucking rat bastard, in my opinion. His whole family is rats. Real quick. By the way, we have Ryan here. Jason is at a concert tonight, Ryan?
Yeah, Jason's out. He's at a concert. What concert it is, I have no idea.
Yeah, you do. Come on.
I really do. I'll call him right now.
No, you don't have to do that. I can't think of one musical act. I want a little more. Hey, Ryan, I want a little more juice here. Just right there, okay? Let's mark that, kids. It's day 19. No need to, there you go. I don't want to eat the mic because I know where my mouth has been. Gross. Let's start off with light shit. In the United States, smoking rate hits new low at 16%, which is, why am I talking about this? Because I just started smoking like a real smoker at age 56. And I got to be honest with you, I'm enjoying it. A lot of stress in my life at this point. And it keeps me kind of, yes, I know weed is the real answer, but I'll get into the weed in a second. But, yeah, 16% of U.S. adults say they smoked a cigarette in the past week. By 1 percentage point, the lowest level on record since Gallup first asked the question in 1944. That's a good sample size. I'm starting to believe it's bad for you. In 1944, 41% of U.S. adults said they smoked. This figure held steady for the next several decades, even after the federal government warned the public in the early 1960s that smoking was a health threat. And that's why I think it's bullshit when people get cancer and they sue tobacco companies and total horseshit. They've been telling you since the 60s that it'll give you a nice lump on your tit or a nice ass pipe bump. So that's on you, okay? Stop with that. It's a cottage industry, these commercials about not smoking and stuff. They're going. You ever try to watch a Yankees game? Every the commercial, it shows a It shows a piece of an actual human heart that they took out of an autopsy, and it's clogged with butter, and I can't believe it's not butter, and country crock, and that's from smoking and shit. And there was one other commercial, showed a young kid. He's got a baseball glove. I used to do this in my act. He throws the baseball, and there's nobody there to catch it because his dad died from smoking. So maybe there is some danger to secondary smoke because that kid must have a fucking brain tumor to be trying to play catch with nobody that exists. That nobody. I'm just saying, I'm enjoying it. I talked about it on the show before. I'm 56, and I don't want to live too long. I figure give me 20 years before I get my cancer, which I think is about right. If you start smoking in your 20s, you'll have cancer when you're supposed to be having fun. If a doctor tells me in my 70s I have cancer, I'm going to kiss him on the forehead. You see people in their mid-70s. You see the look on their fucking face. Do they look happy? They have a look on their face like what? Where's my cancer? Should have been here by now. I want off this fucking ride. Sort of how I feel. But it is a disgusting habit, and I understand that. I'm doing P90X, these, or whatever, these exercises that the easy ones that I used to rip through a couple years ago, I have to stop and wheeze for a bit. So, what am I saying, kids? Do whatever you want. Okay? They told me omega fats were good for my cholesterol and my heart, and they just rebuked all that in the last couple of years. So I'm saying they don't know. If everything causes cancer, then nothing does. I will lay in a goddamn tanning bed eating hot dogs dipped into Sweet and Low while I'm smoking cigarettes. I don't care at this point. You may feel differently. At the start of the 70s, 4 in 10 Americans still reported smoking, but by 1977, they turned into pussies. The rate had fallen to 36%. 12 years later, in 89, the smoking rate fell below the 30% mark for the first time ever. Late 2000s, smoking levels began to slowly drop again. And that's when they started passing no smoking in bars and restaurants and shit. And that worked on me. I got to be honest. Bloomberg passed that. I wanted to choke the little fucking weasel. And I was smoking at the Comedy Cellar at that point. You could smoke in there, but then you couldn't. And I quit what little bit of smoking I was doing then. But boy, does it feel good. 888-599-6425. And I know you guys like your weed, but you're breathing in fucking fire into your lungs either way. So, but here's the real rate. Smoke rate among young adults has fallen by half since 2001. Those age 18 to 29 have declined most dramatically since 2001. This is the same generation that doesn't fuck that much anymore. So what are you doing? You're sitting in your fucking house not fucking and chewing on bubble gum. We have the stats for you, if you can read right up there. Over the past 3 years, 15% of adults age 18 to 29 say they smoked a cigarette in the past week, compared with 34% who said so in the early 2000s. By contrast, smoking rates among Americans aged 30 to 49 have fallen by 8 percentage points over this time period. Among older Americans have essentially not budged. That's because we're older Americans. We know more than you. We know life is just a fucking recurring cold sore and flat tires and as Tony Soprano said, life is just a bunch of distractions till you die. To finish the quote, he said, you go to Italy, you lift some weights, which is creepy because he died in Italy. You ever think of that? That's a great observation on my point. Everything all right? Rita? We have Rita answering the phones with a real concerned look on her face. And Rita's a little Guatemalan girl that cuts our grass. Ryan, you got to get some sun. Every time I look over there, holy Christ, it scares me. There's some places where young people love to smoke, right, Ryan? Let's go to my favorite guy in Indonesia, my favorite kid. You guys saw this a few years ago. I wonder if this kid's still
slamming
alive.
His head on the floor, even getting sick if he doesn't get his 2 packs a day.
This kid's a gangster. This is my favorite clip ever. Look at him. Look at him. It's not It's not that he's a young kid smoking, it's how he's smoking.
I love that. Do you want it again?
Yeah, play it again. I just love how look at his family looking on. Oh, look, a little Bakanesh. Gonna have ass cancer in a few years.
Slamming his head on the floor, even getting sick if he doesn't get his 2 packs a day.
2 packs a day. My favorite clip ever on the internet. Look at that fucking gangster. All right, I heard he finally quit. That's good parenting, by the way. But he quit. Now he's fatter than he is. There. He put on about 1,000 pounds. He has the He's got the physique of Whoopi Goldberg without her shirt on. That fucking slob. 888-599-6425. 888-599-6425. Call me if you like to smoke or you think it's disgusting or we should be able to do it anywhere. I'm sick. Anyways, fuck that. Let's go to a little bit of political shit. I'll get to obviously the Trump-Cohen tapes, which is big fucking whoop, I say. Let's go to top House Democrat speculates that the Trump PP tape is he thinks it's fucking real. And you know who that is, don't you? Jim Clyburn, the third-ranking House Democrat, said that he believes the dossier's claims that Russian government is blackmailing President Donald Trump with a so-called PP tape in a Wednesday interview. He just another fucking lefty. Listen how dumb Jim Clyburn is. There he is.
I have not seen anything that would make me come to any different conclusion.
Because you're blind.
I just think that you have to, whenever you see smoke, you need to investigate to see
you have to piss on it.
There's a fire causing it, how big the fire is, whether or not we're going to put it out or let it burn. There's a lot of smoke here, and when you see this much smoke, there's fire somewhere, and we got to put it out. We cannot allow it to continue to smolder, because before you know it, we'll all go up in flames if we do.
Are you a congressman or a fucking fire marshal? That was the longest metaphor for smoke. So you say I believe it exists. I haven't seen anything that makes me it doesn't believe. Really? You haven't? Do you read the papers, stupid? Or are you too busy at Popeye's Chicken fucking hanging out and playing dominoes? What are you talking about? Ay, ay, ay. Trump was there at that hotel in Moscow. It's in the fucking article. He was there he got there to his room at 1:30. He had to be up at 6 or whatever. I'm not saying that's not enough time to watch a couple of Russian whores fucking marinate a silly Postupedic. But I guess that's what I am saying. But just blinded, just hell-bent on a PP tape. Mr. Clyburn. We've gone from Thomas Jefferson, guys like that, to fucking James Clyburn and Maxine Waters, fucking Chuck Schumer, just mamalukes. There's a book out called Russian Roulette. David Korn wrote it, and Michael Isikoff. I think he wrote for the Times. So you know that's objective. And he spent one night in Moscow and went to his hotel room 1:30. Spent less than 6 hours in the room before showing up for a video shoot that morning. That's plenty of time for two girls to piss on a bed unless they're dehydrated. But I'm saying, where's your actual fucking evidence? Clyburn is the second Democrat and is in many weeks to say he believes the PP tape exists. Also, Democrat from Oregon, the dumbest. It's overtaken California as the dumbest state in the union. Jeff Merkley told BuzzFeed editor Ben Smith on July 16, he believes something similar to the tape exists. Sure. But keep voting for people like, James Clyburn.
There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind.
Well, that guy's mind, yeah. I'd have to fucking say so. Just what the truth is, I can't say her anymore. Let's go to Caitlin in Connecticut. We always like to welcome a woman on the show. I have a predominantly male demographic following. I'm sure that surprises you, but we love to hear another perspective. Caitlin, welcome to the show. How are you? How tall are you? What do you weigh? No, I'm just kidding. What's going on?
5'7" and 125.
Not bad.
Not bad, right? Kind of fat, but not right now. I'm just kidding.
No, go ahead.
I love smoking too. As you could probably tell, my voice is a little deep.
Caitlin, talk into the phone piece, please. Thank you.
I am. I'm talking into the phone.
Now you are. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry. I love smoking too, but I do want to ask you about if you saw Judge Jeanine on The View, like that whole craziness that happened. Did you hear about that?
Of course I did.
Of course you did. I don't know.
What's that got to do with smoking?
Oh, no. I actually wanted to ask you about it tonight anyway. But
Okay.
smoking's pretty awesome too. We can talk about that
No,
if
we'll
you'd
talk.
rather. That's
What
fine.
do you want to say about Janine Shapiro and ugly, scary Whoopi Goldberg, who the world gave a break? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, my thoughts are, it's like it was so, like, it's almost like they planned it because they had Anna Navarro on, like, replacing Joy Behar.
Another dumb twat.
Oh, I know, I fucking hate her. I know, I hate her. So it's like you see her on, and then like you see all of them on, and you already know what's going to happen. And then it's like, you know, Whoopi's this hero because she's telling her to leave because, you know, she's experiencing a different perspective, you know. And it's just, I'm so tired of seeing stuff like that. Why even bother having a conservative on? Why?
It's a good point.
Like,
Why?
It's so silly.
I'll tell you why. As a foil. That's all they have her on for. Janine Pirro was a judge. Whoopi Goldberg was a dog shit actress who got a break. Sam Kinison said it best. Something about the world. I don't know. The world bites their tongue. Something about Whoopi. But after the show, they got into it, and I heard Janine call them a bunch of cocksuckers as she was leaving. And
awesome. I love that woman.
Yeah, I do too.
I love her.
And I guess her book sales spiked. Who knows? Her and Whoopi could have been in cahoots. I don't trust anybody anymore. But I wish Whoopi smoked more when she was a kid. To bring it back to smoking. Hey, Caitlin, good hearing from you. You're a bartender, so I know you enjoy a good smoke, and you're a regular on the show. Thank you for calling.
Absolutely.
Good talking to you.
Thanks, Nick.
All right.
All right, bye.
Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, and I'll kill you. Let's go to Josh. I wanted to get off the smoking thing. I'll get to the Trump thing. But let's one more smoking call. Josh in Albany. Josh, how you doing, fella? Are you on?
Nick, what's happening?
Are you
brother?
on an iron lung right now?
I'm not. I'm actually. I'm about to go out and have a smoke actually myself right now. But you know, I gotta say, you know, as a smoker, you know, it's almost as if it's so taboo now. It's like if I shot up, it would be looked at almost the same way than the people that bat an eye at you now for smoking a cigarette. It's almost as if you're like, you know, you're spoofing a hot rail in your arm. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it's ridiculous how they're treated these days.
Well, what's funny is the people that are judging you and giving you those dirty looks, most of them are pot smokers. And they actually think that's fucking healthy. I know there's a lot of formaldehyde and rat poison and shit in cigarettes, but there's a ton of chemicals in weed, too. So either way, you're breathing fire into your lungs.
Yeah.
But they're the ones judging you. Guys, we know what smoking looks like. We can fucking stop it.
Yeah. And it's fucking 100%. I could buy them at every market. You know, it's like, give me a break. And you know what's funny is I was at one of your comedy shows in Albany here.
Yeah.
All right. And I was having some drinks. I was having a good time, but I wasn't ruining your show. But you know, there was 2 openers, and I didn't know that I was gonna have to sit there that long without having a smoke. You know what I mean? So you were actually you just came on, and I knew I didn't want to get up during the show. I tried to slip out. Yeah. I ain't the smallest fella in the world, but having said that, I had a black hoodie on, so I kind of snuck out, and I just snuck right in back. I tried to sneak back in, and then you're like, "Oh, good! I'm glad you could join us there, Trayvon." And everyone kind of pointed at me and laughed.
All right, Josh. I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for coming out to the show. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. All right. 888-599-6425 is the phone number. Let's get to fucking Michael Cohen.
Fucking rat anyway. His whole family's all rats.
Really?
Grew up to be a rat.
It's a fucking, you know, he secretly taped Trump when he was Trump's lawyer. He's heard on tape with Trump's discussing with Cohen how they would buy the rights to a Playboy model story about an alleged affair Trump had like 10 years ago for 10 months with this Karen McDougal broad, according to the audio recording of the conversation. And my first take on this is, so the fuck what? You have him on video saying that he thinks it's all right to grab women's pussies, and he still won the election. So this, I know he's the president now, but come on, let's stop with the shit. The big question is the money that they were going to use to buy this story from American Media is the name of the company. Whether it's a campaign contribution money that he was using or Michael Cohen's actual own money and all that horse shit. But people, again, flying on the left, they're just dying. The recording confirms the man who now occupies the Oval Office had contemporaneous knowledge of proposal to buy the rights to the story of Karen McDougal, a woman who allegedly had an extramarital affair with Trump about 10 years ago. We actually have it here. We have actual audio of Trump getting into it with Cohen.
Get this through your head, Get this through your head, you Jew motherfucker, you.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That was horrible. Cohen told Trump about his plans to set up a company and finance the purchase of the rights from American Media, which publishes the National Enquirer. The recording captures what appears to be a routine business conversation of several matters. It took place in the back of a pork store on their agenda. The audio is a little muddled, and the meaning of Trump's use of the word cash is disputed by both sides. Let's play the actual audio of Cohen and Trump. He surreptitiously recorded Trump. I don't know how you can do that. It's supposed to be client-attorney privilege, but do we have that audio?
I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with funding. Yes, and it's all the stuff because you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be. Correct. So I'm all over that, and I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be.
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So no. I got no.
That's where it gets all. Did Trump say we'll pay cash? Which it sounded like to me he did. Right? And you hear Cohen go, no, I got all the. So I think this is where Cohen went into his own kick, as they say in the mob, maybe. But then it cuts off. And then Giuliani's out there saying, who represents Trump now, saying, he's, the whole conversation is about setting up, an actual company, shell company, to buy the rights to this story. And Trump is not dumb enough to, just use cash. But did Trump say something about what happens if a guy might get hit by a truck or something? Did you hear that, Ryan?
Yeah. He said, what if he gets hit by a truck?
Yeah, which is real Queens. That's real Queens, New York development / sanitation type talk. And nobody's talking about that on TV.
What if this guy just has an accident with a garbage truck?
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's sort of implying. That's what I thought they'd all be jumping on. Did they not hear that? So, but don't take my word for it that this is a big shitburger because they're just pulling. They're desperate now. But take Alan Dershowitz, who is a constitutional scholar, and you know who he is, and this is his take on what went on in that discussion and whether it's breaking any laws or not. Go ahead, Mr. Dershowitz. Alan?
No crime. This was a conversation between a lawyer and a client that should never have been heard.
Hold on. There should be video of this. I think Ryan likes his hooch. Here we go. Let's play. You got to see Alan Durr. He's a handsome fella. Go ahead.
Even if, and the tape is unclear, Trump raised the word cash, there was then a discussion, and the lawyer said no, and President Trump said no, we'll do it by check. Lawyers and clients have those conversations all the time. I've had conversations like that with clients. The end result is cash was not used, no payments were made. The context of the tape all suggests that the president wanted it to be papered. They wanted it to be a corporation, not just a payment. He wanted to make sure it was done right. He wanted to make sure it was done with records. And so I think the big picture.
I guess that's what he's saying. He's saying there's no crime. But again, I'll go back to Trump going, if he gets hit by a bus or something. And, Dershowitz is right down the middle, folks. Half the country wanted to murder him during the OJ thing. He's a true fucking liberal in the good sense of the word, that he looks at both sides and whatever. But But he's talking like he heard the whole thing, which we didn't. Trump tweeted, as soon as I started talking positive, the thing trails off. So maybe Dershowitz heard more of this audio than we did. And maybe Trump did say, look, we're going to do like a company and have paperwork involved. But the crack about this guy might get hit by a truck or something.
He's going to be
Gets hit by a truck.
correct. So
All right. So, but again, the left is like, there's more evidence. There's fucking more evidence that this guy just lied and blah, blah, blah. You have more damning shit on him. Okay, so, they were going to buy the rights to Karen McDougal's story. She got fucking overshadowed by Stormy Daniels. I'm sure he's got a bunch of this. You can't be a billionaire New York real estate developer and not have a bunch of fucking good-looking skeletons in your closet, if you know what I'm saying. But Lanny Davis, of course, is Cohen's lawyer. But I don't what I don't understand, and Dershowitz didn't really explain, is how the fuck can you? There's supposed to be client privilege, attorney-client privilege, and then Dershowitz went on to say that the only way there's going to be a problem here if Cohen is the one who leaked it to the press, because in New York you can record somebody without telling them. In New York, which is kind of creepy, I guess, but sometimes that works out. Like when a wife or a husband is meeting with somebody to have their spouse killed, and the cop records them. So, I don't know, but Dershowitz doesn't seem to think it's any big fucking deal. I don't know. We shall see, but they're just anything he does, anything, just looking for any little thing. I don't know what to tell you. Let's go to Steven in Long Beach, California. Stevie boy, what's it, about 110 out there?
It's fucking sweating, but I'm in my car. I'm got a long drive, so I'm all good.
Okay.
Hey, so funny thing, it was off topic. I called in before I realized that, but did you hear about what happened at not Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters' office on Thursday?
They found 55 wigs from James Brown's garage?
No, that was on Friday.
Okay, what happened?
On Thursday, there was supposed to be a right-wing protest outside her office, but they didn't show up. But the counter-protesters still decided to show up, and they ended up stealing an American flag off a car that was driving by, burning it, and then assaulting a random white guy that was trying to ask them questions because they called him a right-winger, and his cameraman was black.
There you go.
They still had the violence, even though there was no right-wingers there. They still had the violence, so they're gonna keep trying to blame the right for the violence. But even when we're not around, they still do shit.
No, actually, I guarantee you, Soros called up and they're like, Mr. Soros, there's nobody here to hit. I don't give a shit. Punch the first fucking white guy you see. I paid you guys good money to fuck these people up. Yeah, that's Maxine Waters. That's
fuck somebody up.
Fuck somebody up. That's Maxine Waters, and that's the type of people that follow her. And it's just, they shut down a food truck. I read a story today. A food truck out there. A couple they have a food truck. It's very popular. Some of the profits go to homeless, to help out the homeless. And these nitwits showed up. They heard the daughter of the people who own the food truck giggling, these, Occupy douchebag types. And they started to go after the daughter verbally and stuff. There's a civil war coming. I fucking hope we could just pick up the pace and get it on. Anyways, good call. Appreciate it, Steven. Thanks, buddy. Maxine Waters, James Clyburn. Look at her. Look. She's looking up. Trump's got his dick about a foot above her right now, just dangling it over her. He's going to knock it off, knock that wig off. Look at that James Brown wig. She looks like a basset hound with a wig on. That's mean. I hope the fuck it's mean. I'm sick of these hateful people. They're the fucking racists. 888-599-NICK is the phone number. Speaking of racists, well, this guy, he's a rapist. Did I say racist? Bill Cosby He must register as a sex offender if he returns to Massachusetts estate. He has a nice estate in Massachusetts on a river somewhere. He's had for years. This another very rich, very rich black fellow living in an all-white neighborhood. Doesn't really relate to the peeps where he came from or whatnot. And we all know what's going on here.
Take the bag off.
We love him.
Hey! You're raping me! This is rape! This is rape! This is rape! Okay.
Relax your arms.
Relax your arms. I'm just making you a drink. Relax your arms. This is a Yoo-hoo with some fucking Flintstones vitamins. Give it a sip. Don't you have a picture of him, Ryan? Bill Cosby? There you go. You notice his nose is turning whiter the older he gets. That's something creepy. That's maybe God's black, and it's God's way of saying, this is what happens when you do evil shit and lie. We make your nose white. Look at that pancake. Never liked him. Never found the guy fucking funny. I liked it when he was lecturing young black kids to pull up their pants and to fucking pick up a book. I enjoyed that 5 minutes of his career. That's why, by the way, Hollywood never came to his defense, by the way. You know that, don't you? You notice nobody circled the wagons around him? That's why, because he kind of leaned right in his family values. Who would have guessed, though? America's dad was a fucking sex offender, and he's got a sprawling Shelburne Falls estate, and Pennsylvania Sexual Offenders Assessment Board recommended a judge yesterday that Cosby be declared a sexually violent predator. But the 81-year-old comedian's conviction on April 26 on 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault in Philly is sufficient for Massachusetts authorities to require him to register here if he spends 4 days in 1 month or 14 days in a year in Massachusetts. Having him on the registry is at least symbolic that he's no longer above the law, said attorney Wendy Murphy, a victim's right advocate. He'll be listed with the lowest of the low, where drugging his victim could land him a level 3 rating. The Northwestern District Attorney's Office confirmed yesterday that if Cosby fails to register upon his return, he'll face prosecution. I love that he's on a list and shit, and they have an app so you know where he is. Like, nobody... First of all, he's legally blind. So you might see him in the neighborhood actually fucking a dog by accident, thinking it's a 22-year-old girl. He's legally blind. He's a real danger. And if you don't believe he's legally blind, go online and look at pictures of his wife. Apparently his biggest fantasy is to fuck a woman that looks like a point guard from St. John's. A frightening, angry little bald chick who's been standing by his side, by the way. My man's innocent. Bill's got like pubes in his teeth and shit. Just a horrible fucking human being. His estate is worth more than $4 million, including a $2.6 million colonial circa 1800. Property has an Olympic-sized pool. Love to see him try to dive into it and land on cement, thinking it's a... He's got tennis courts surrounded by rolling fields and woods. How do we know that? Satellite images. That's creepy. So he's now named to a Pennsylvania sex offenders registry. But his lawyer said, we'll see them in court. Under Pennsylvania law, a sexually violent predator is defined as a person who has mental abnormality or personality disorder that makes the person likely to engage in predatory sexual offenses. That's half of Washington, too, by the way. The Cosby Show star faces up to 10 years in jail for drugging and assaulting former Temple University employee Andrea Constant at his home near Philly in 2004. His conviction came after a retrial that included testimony from 5 other women. There's like 50 women that came forward with the same story. That sort of convinced me. Anyways, he's been ordered to stay in his Philly home and only leave to see a doctor or his lawyers. He's like Uncle Junior in the last couple seasons of... I actually have a clip about Bill Cosby, some stand-up I did. Here it is.
Bill Cosby's going on trial fucking next month. I can't wait for that. Everybody's so shocked when that story. Ooh, a black rapist from Philly. What are the odds? Outlandish. I never liked Cosby, and I know he's fucking guilty. I took my uncle to see him in Atlantic City like 12 years ago. My uncle loves Bill Cosby. I went in the green room after, introduced myself. So I know he's guilty. I shook his hand. Next thing I remember, I'm waking up in his hotel on the floor. wearing nothing but a Temple University t-shirt. And I had pudding pop wrappers stuck to my back and my ass. And I just remember hearing him go, "Stick your dick in your ass, you little bitty motherfucker." I can't do a good Cosby. It sounds like a white woman stroking out. Which is what he was listening to after the pills, but all my black comedian friends do a great Cosby. They have him raping like 15 different people, and they have like 20 new minutes of material. I can do a good Popeye impression. If Popeye rapes somebody, I'll have a new 20 minutes. Ooh, suck me dick, Oliver. That's consensual. Wow. Suck me dick and let me ass go.
I like that bit. By the way, he's a serial rapist. And when you hear serial and crime, you think what? You think white guys. I talk about this in my act, too. Patrice O'Neill, when he was alive, the late, great Patrice. Anytime there was a white serial killer story on the news, my phone would ring 2 minutes after the story was over, and all I'd hear is, white boy, click. And it was Patrice. And Keith Robinson would do that to me, too. And they're right. Most serial killers are white. You know why? To be a serial killer takes a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It's like a full-time job. You have to track your victims. You have to, go online, find out what kind of chemicals dissolve bones in your tub in 5 minutes. You have to build a soundproof studio and learn an instrument, pretending you're learning guitar, but you really have, 18 girls tied to a fucking radiator down there. It takes a lot of work. You got to feed them, make them bologna sandwiches every couple of weeks. It's a lot of work. As opposed to black crime, I used to say to Patrice, and he used to fucking laugh, as opposed to black crime where, it's a little simpler, Somebody steps on your foot in the champagne room at the titty bar, so you kill them with a tire iron in the parking lot. A lot quicker. It's just kind of racist. No, not actually. Based on facts from the FBI. Sorry, I back up all my shit, folks. I back it up. Okay, take down White Nose, will you? He's staring right at me. White Nose. It's the name of an Indian. I was hearing stories about Cosby, and I'm not shitting you. When I first, in the mid-'90s, I remember being at Caroline's and being in the green room arguing with another comic. I had read some stuff about him, fucking drugging a lot of white girls. I forget who I was arguing with. But then, Hannibal Buress broke it wide open with his thing. So, I mean, if a black comic is saying it, got to be true, yo.
Yo.
Wasn't talking to you, Whitey. Ryan looks like a Jerry Sandusky wet dream, young kid in his 20s. Let's go to the goddamn phones. Mike in Nashville has a theory about the Trump-Cohen tapes, and he believes that he thinks that Trump might have released these deliberately. Interesting. Hey, what's going on, Mike? Fill us in on this theory.
Hey, Nick. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
First-time caller. I actually heard Mark Dice this morning say that Trump waived his attorney-client privilege in terms of those tapes being released because he just, I guess, doesn't give a shit. It didn't, he obviously, it doesn't mean anything. No one's sweating it. And so I don't know.
Why would this, how would that help him?
I don't know that it would, but I just don't think it hurts him in any way at all. And I heard what I heard of the tape doesn't seem very incriminating in any way.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I said at the beginning.
I heard Mark Dice report it.
Well, then it must be true if Mark Dice said it. I mean,
well, of course.
I don't know. I mean, there's some. Of course, the other angle is again he's using this to distract what's going on with Putin. It's that fucking Adam Schiff, that pencil neck geek. He looks. I just want to snap his little fucking neck. And it just, I can't fucking stand his face. He looks like Charles Grodin in high school with acne. I want to fucking kill him. But that's right. I did read that Trump did waive his, his client attorney privilege. But did you hear what I heard on the tape when he said something about somebody getting hit by a truck?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was.
I know. I don't know if that was beneficial to his side or.
old school hit job happening, or just
Yeah, I don't know what he was
I don't know,
implying.
just the possibility that I didn't know what the implication was, but no one mentioned it, which was interesting.
Yeah, what a fucking rat this Cohen is, though.
I always heard the way to get Trump would have been to get with Sammy the Bull and get him on some old that were
Well, yeah, when you're
mafia related and
yeah,
stuff, but they've never gone that road either, which is interesting.
No, well, maybe there's no road there. These fucking guys couldn't arrest me for
No, I'm
shoplifting.
sure there's not.
They're fucking really stupid. All right, good theory, Mike. Good call. Good talking to you, buddy. I don't know. When Dershowitz says there's nothing there, folks, I'm not a constitutional scholar. I'm not a legal guy, but Dershowitz has his shit together, and if there was something there, he'd be all over it. Not saying there isn't. But Trump doesn't seem too worried. Seems like another big shitburger that's going nowhere. And like I said, how's it going to fucking hurt him at this point? After that Hollywood Access tape, and I know he wasn't the president then, so that changes things a little bit, but guy got a lot of snatch. I wonder if he did deal with, like, Sammy the Bull and Gotti, because, when you build stuff out of concrete in New York City, as somebody said, what show was that? They go, I guarantee you. Oh, it was Rodney Dangerfield back to school. Rodney's in business class, and the professor's talking about building an imaginary company. And Rodney says, you got the zoning laws, then you have to pay off the cement guy. And do you know who runs those businesses? I assure you it's not the Boy Scouts. So there could be something there, but whatever. He's been in office for what? Almost 2 years, year and a half now? He might be the cleanest guy that ever sat in that goddamn chair. I swear to God. I mean, they're still looking for shit. The PP tape. Let's see it. Let's see the PP tape. Oh, we can't. Why not? Because Tony Podesta's jerking off to it right now. But we'll get it to you. That would be John's brother. It's a good joke if you follow politics. I don't. Let's go to Eddie in St. Louis. I hope it's Eddie Griffin, who I love, who's from St. Louis. What up, Eddie?
Hey, Nick, what's going on? I'm Eddie Griffin. I bet Tony and John are jacking off to that P-tape too, man, for sure. Yeah, I had a theory about the tape that just got released. It could have been like a canary trap the FBI set, you know what I mean? Where they dangle it in front of somebody that they think is leaking shit, and just see if they'll leak it. You know what I mean?
So they dangled it in front of what? In front of who?
To find a leaker, like somebody who's leaking stuff. That they don't want leaked. I don't know.
The FBI would do that. The FBI would do that, or the Trump administration, because they tried that earlier. You make a good point. Trump, remember they did it. They did something like that. They put something out there after he had a meeting with some of his guys in his administration to see who would leak it. I can't remember the details on that, but the canary in the coal mine thing. I get where you're coming from. But I don't know. That sounds even too smart for the FBI. All right, Eddie. Anything else? Oh, Eddie, go bye-bye. Eddie, go bye-bye. So, yeah. But anybody gonna give a shit? I mean, after we found out Bill Clinton was... and again, I understand. This has to do with finances and using... campaign contribution shit to shut people up that might get a little hairy or whatever. But if Dershowitz isn't fucking... And he's the guy I go to. Dershowitz. I'd like to hire him to take care of my case where I get sucker punched at a comedy... Mr. Dershowitz, I tell him, I'd go, my civil rights were violated. I was talking politically on stage telling jokes, and she thought I was racist and sexist. And my buddy who's a lawyer says there's a statute in New York because I'm over... If you're over 45 years old and somebody commits physical violence against you because of your political, it's fucking, it's a hate crime. Yeah, we know what a black guy looks like. I mean, we just had James Clyburn up there and Bill Cosby. Enough with the black guys.
I love putting that up every time.
I know you do. I think you get a thrill out of it. I think Ryan actually gets a thrill out of. I was punched by a walking yeast infection. By the way, I got to bolt out of here right at 7 or a little after, folks, because I'm going into the Fat Black Pussycat, which is the Comedy Cellar. They call it the Lounge, and it's an hour from here. And that's on a good day with no traffic, no rain. No problems. Parking. It's a great fucking room if you live in New York City. It's a real bohemian feel to it, I told you. It's like Sandusky's basement. Excuse me. It's the clam chowder. Let's move on, shall we? There's a woman in Connecticut, local Democratic lawmaker in Connecticut. She's under fire. Her name, by the way, is Select Woman Melissa Schlag. She's about as pretty as her last name. Local Democrat lawmaker in Connecticut under fire after she took a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance in protest of President Trump.
You are a cunt, 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 cunt. If that's thinking cunt, say it ain't true, let me tell you, you're motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from yet to
Look at her.
if that's thinking cunt.
Look at that. Look at that thing. She's in a house coat and ugh. And I'm not a jingoistic person and shit, but if you're gonna do public service and you're representing your people, she's getting just what she wants. Guys like me talking about her, but you notice the ones that just skankarella. It looks like a big meeting there. Some important business going on, apparently, in their hometown. Turns out some lady found a dent in a refrigerator. That was the top. And the trash people, the sanitation guys, are getting new uniforms. I think that's what this meeting is about. Look at her. She thinks she's a fucking defensive back for the Ravens. Anyways, this twat's own, she said, well, you know why she did it? In response to Trump's comments after the summit with Putin. She said, I felt nervous when I did it, but I also felt powerful. Yeah, look at you. You look like a regular Putin there. Schlag told she says, if I don't speak up, those who can't won't be heard. Are you fucking dog-styling me, Miss Schlag? They won't be heard? That's all we do is hear from people like you, whether it's the fucking NFL or CNN, MSNBC. That's all we do is hear from people like you, because the mainstream media is for this type of horse shit. Okay? You're just a fucking idiot. With a face like that, it's the only time she's ever taken a knee in her life. What? You heard me. Ryan, good one, huh?
Excellent.
Excellent, like he just tried to whine. Schlag's protest adopting the practice of NFL players protesting police violence was not her first flag controversy. Listen to this, from 2013 to 2015, when Schlag served as first select woman, she had both the United States and Connecticut flags removed from her office. Both flags, she says, in quotes, were taken down because I rearranged the furniture and I put a bookcase where the flags were.
Liar, whore, and you know it.
Yeah. Oh, give me a fucking break. I had to move the furniture. We'll put it where the flags. How about the constituents that you represent that disagree with your stance on this shit? So you know what you should do? Don't take a knee, but don't stand. Just squat a little. Like you do when you're taking a dump at your house in the woods. Compromise. Good idea? Ugh. I'm just laughing how pathetic. Look at the furniture and shit. Oh, goodness gracious. But she's just, again, she's doing it for the people whose voices aren't heard. Are you fucking kidding me? That's all we hear is the fucking whining. Between social media and all the mainstream networks, that's all we hear is this horse shit. I pledge allegiance. What is it? What's the next line? To the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
To the flag
of the United
States of America. And which it stands to the republic, bombs exploding in the air, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed art thou who art in heaven.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag, but I do it kneeling down like I'm sucking somebody's ass. I don't like her. Let's go to Ron in, looks like Nita, Mass. Apparently speaks German. Ronnie boy, how are you?
Nick, I just wanted to let you know when I was looking up the lady's name, the first thing on Google Translate is that Schlag actually means blow in German.
You're kidding me, right?
Look it up.
I like how serious you are. Look it up. Does it really mean blow?
I swear to God, yeah. It comes right up on top of the Google search and translate.
Well, that makes sense. Why she's taking a knee, I guess, huh?
Yeah, she should be down on 2.
Oh, that's sexist. I don't like that type of talk, Ron. This is what I have to say
I'm
to...
a veteran. I wanted to get one in.
Oh, well, thank you for your service. What branch?
Army. I was a medic.
When did you get out?
09.
So people like her must really irritate you, you know? I mean, you risk your fucking neck. Do people like this bother you, or just you let it roll off your back?
I'm not that much of a, America fuck yeah kind of guy, so I don't really care. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, I these people are making me jingoistic, though. You know, it's like there are people who fucking, I don't know. I guess you want to tie the flag in with the, the Pledge of Allegiance and all that, but I think they do it for the attention. And now I'm talking about her, and she was on the Drudge Report today, and
I was looking on her Facebook page.
Yeah.
And she said something about having been blocked by the town on their Facebook page or something, or their website. And that was back in November that she posted that. So she must be a pain in the ass in general.
Exactly, which is worse than the actual offense. Yeah, so don't represent the people, because there are people in her ward that fucking don't agree with her. So you're supposed to be representing everybody. So tell her to get off her filthy knees. Thank you for your service, too. We appreciate it, Ronnie.
And Dick, I just want to ask you if you know who Kyle Dunnigan is.
Yeah, I know Kyle Dunnigan. Comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, do you look at his Facebook page? I mean, his Instagram?
No,
He does a face swap, and he does these perfect impressions, and he does a lot of Trump. You should check it out. It's funny as hell.
Doesn't sound very funny, got to be honest with you, but I might. Thank you, Ron.
Nope.
Got a nice plug-in for Dunnigan. He's a good guy. I've met him. He's the comedy seller guy. Andrew's going to tell me what the hit by truck thing is that Trump said. Andrew, fill me in. I couldn't make that part out. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, sure. I mean, Nick, when you said that, as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's corporate speak. That's business speak. Like, I'm in IT in Charlotte, North Carolina, and these 3 New Yorkers come down, and they come in and they have higher positions, and we get in the meetings, and we're sitting there like talking about this, talking about that, and then they go, well, what if you get hit by a truck? And they would always say that, and that means, what's your backup plan? And then we were making a joke of it in the office, but we would always hear from New York people. They go, you get hit by a truck, and that's why no one cares.
Okay.
That's why no one's bringing it up, because that means, what's your BCP?
Okay,
what's the backup?
Yeah, okay. That's what it means in an IT business meeting. But when you're talking about being taped surreptitiously and money being changed, maybe rightfully or wrongfully so, to quell a story and shit, do you see the content? Why I took it like that? Because in New York, I hear a lot of maybe. Yeah. You better do this, or who knows? You might get hit by a truck, or. So that's how.
Yeah, no, totally. That's. Yeah.
I'm glad you put that in perspective, though, because I know I didn't hear it clearly, and I thought, people should be making a stink about this, but I think you cleared it up beautifully.
Yeah, it's still a running joke, and those people have been gone for 10 years, but we still say.
All right. Thank you for clearing it up, Andrew.
Anyway.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, you bet.
Take care.
You bet. Have a good night.
All right. There you go. I've been in business for years. I sold steak and seafood out of the back of an Isuzu pickup truck, door to door, when I got out of college. If you want to call that business, and never heard the term. I was actually driving a truck. Rita, you've been in business. You ever hear that term before, Rita? No? You don't hear that much at whorehouses.
He's going to be
gets hit by a
correct.
Yeah, maybe get hit by. Again, I don't know. In other words, you have a backup plan. What if Miss Schlag gets hit by a truck? Looks like she already did. What? Let it go, Nick. Let it go. By the way, go to nickdip.com. I don't have my tour dates in front of me. My staff they're there some days they aren't, but we'll put them up on the screen there at nickdip.com. Tonight, the Fat Black 8:30 start. Saturday night, Fat Black Pussycat, 6 o'clock start. I'll be leaving here at noontime. What the fuck's this, the Blue Light Special Show? It's a good picture of me. I have the posture of Sandy Duncan. Who? Look it up. And then, I don't know, in September, go to, Arlington Draft House. I can't read that from here, guys. I don't expect me to read that. Arlington Draft House, September 14 and 15. That's a Friday and Saturday night. September 20, Phoenix, that's a private event on Thursday. September 21st, Flagstaff, Arizona, Orpheum Theater. I'm looking forward to that. Doing a nice theater on the West Coast. Haven't been out there. The temperatures will be dipping into the 200s, they said. There's people bursting into fucking flames out there, right? You read what's going on in the West? Oh, my God. It's unbelievable.
Are the California wildfires up again?
Oh, yeah. They're just busting out. Oregon now is getting eaten alive, and hopefully it'll rip right through the college campuses.
Great.
They never start on college campus. They never spread to a campus, take out a nice faculty lounge filled with left-wing jerk-offs with their padded elbows and that never happens. But, yeah, California, that state, man, I mean, wildfires, and now they can't even use power between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. because they're telling you not to use major appliances. You're being overrun by illegals. You got shit building up on the streets in Northern California. Other than that, I would look into buying some property there. Seems like a fucking real place to hang.
Yourself.
Shut it, Ryan. I would never hang myself. I can't tie a noose. I can't tie a goddamn necktie, obviously. Let's see. Let's go to Doug in New Jersey real quick before I get into the last story. I got to wrap it up here. I got to get the fuck out of here. Dougie boy, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Nick?
Oh, you know.
I wanted to say, are white women ever going to stop trying to pretend to relate to the oppressed? No matter who's in office, they still get their meals paid for and doors open for. Stand up, you fucking twat.
Oh, my God. That's over the top. I'm not blaming white. I blame white women in the suburbs of Philly and Boston and all the nice towns throughout America for voting for Obama and falling for all this horse shit. That's why soap operas were so popular, with housewives fall for any stupid plots. And but no, the younger, I'm going to give the millennial chicks a little bit of a high five here because they fucking hated Hillary. Because just what you're talking about, Hillary, said she was a feminist and shit, but she grabbed onto the coats of Bill and rode his coattails and shit. And these millennial younger chicks, like, fuck, we don't need a man. We can do it on our own and shit. Mm-hmm. But I know you're trying to be a little over the top.
Really? You see that?
Yeah, with young millennial broads, I date them all the time.
I date them too, and they're fucking horrendous.
You do?
They're not fun, Nick.
They're not. Well, I know they don't smoke, and a lot of them are celibate and shit. Every report, but no, for the most part, as far as your point about they want it both ways, I don't find that. I think they're trying to make their own way, and that's why they rejected fucking Hillary. But anyways, good call. I'll talk to you later, Dougie. Take care of yourselves, fella. Finally tonight on Meet the Press. What do I got here? North Koreans eat dog meat to beat the heat. They eat dog meat. It's popular. Dog stew is very popular in the summertime in North Korea. Here's the recipe. Quarter hind legs of a Chihuahua, the noses of 2 bull mastiffs, some chicken stock, some scallions, a poodle's dick, then you process it. Shut it. Euphemistically known as dangogi, or sweetmeat, dog has long been believed to be a stamina food in North and South. Yeah, when it's 108 degrees, that's what I want. Fucking German Shepherd's thigh. To believe to be a stamina food in North and South Korea and is traditionally eaten during the hottest time of the year. Ugh! Somebody burps fucking Greyhound in your face. It's 100. But see, supposedly they're not doing as much of this anymore. I didn't circle anything else in the article, but there they are. That's a great. This picture adds a lot to the story. Those guys could be playing Parcheesi, fucking doing a crossword puzzle, or eating pizza. But anyways, we had to show you some Asian people. They all have bones in their mouth. The rib bones of a greyhound.
That's the pic from the article.
Yeah, I know. I didn't fucking say to include it, did I, Ryan? No, I didn't. So, but you can add it. It makes for a better show. You'll fool the retards. But my point being is, my take on eating dog, and we criticize, but how do we know? What if, like I said, what kind of dog do I have? I don't know. What if Bull Mastiff tastes like lobster? People are so quick. They're pets over here, but I guess they're coming around, especially in North and South Korea. They're coming around because now their actual pets are dogs over there, so they're starting to come around a little bit. But here's what's cruel. They have these farms in Korea, I think both in North and South Korea. They have a festival every year. They cage up all these fucking dogs. And you know what they do? This is the cruel part. They believe that the adrenaline of a dog makes the meat tender. So they beat the fucking dogs on a regular basis. So I can't watch those commercials late at night, when they come on with the dogs in cages missing an eye. That shit gets to me. Please don't do that. I'm trying to watch the fucking Weather Channel. There's a girl on there with big tits. I don't want to see a chihuahua missing a fucking earlobe. All right? But they beat the dogs because they believe the adrenaline makes the meat more tender. And I'm just saying, I'm open-minded. I would try dog. Somebody else's dog. A dog that I hate. My neighbor's dog that shits in my lawn. I would put his paws in a food processor with some panko crumbs and hope I like it. Then I'd finish him off later. I'm trying to be a little open-minded here. What if it's really delicious? I'm going to give it a shot. Do we have dog at the supermarket? No. But just the old dogs, the ones that you turn into, well, they turn horses into perfume, don't they? And shit like that.
Glue.
And glue, yes. But
And dog food.
I'm saying the dogs that are real old and nobody has any use for. I'd like to try. I would like to try some Yorkshire Terrier. A little garlic and lemon.
You have a Yorkie, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I was trying to avoid that on the air. You fucking Malamute. Is that a dog? A Malamute?
Yes.
By the way, Ryan got a radio gig at his college, so watch out. He's going to be the next Casey Kasem at Bunker Hill Community College. So that's my take on that. Dog could be delicious. I'm trying to be open-minded here. I'd give it a shot. I don't like people that go, rabbit. I love rabbit. I grew up next to my grandmother. She's from Italy. She's 190 years old. She would cook it. It was delicious. People describe, I'm not going to eat it. I know it's a bunny. Yeah, and a cow's a cow, and a lamb's a lamb, and, you have to expand your horizons. Quail. What's that? It's really pigeon. So, but I'm just saying, I'm glad there's somebody looking out for these. I just don't get eating dog in the hot, any kind of stew. It's 110 degrees out. They're a little fucked up. So that is it. Covered a lot of ground. I got to jump in my car and break the sound barrier on the Springbrook Parkway. Did I have any shout-outs today? Oh, we don't do them on the, right? We do them on the Patreon. And by the way, like I said, the Patreon thing, 718 subscribers. So don't go by the number they're putting up there. I want to get to the bottom of that. That's really bugging me. That is it. Remember, kids, you think it, I'll say it. You're welcome, and I love you, and my buddy Lee will tell you how much.
I love you for helping me to construct of my life. Not a tap.
Watch the love in the corner.
But a temple. I love you because you have done so much to make me happy. You have done it without a word, without a touch, without a sign.
Here's some love for you.
You have done it by just being yourself. Perhaps, after all, that is what love means. And that is why I love you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.